Hi, this is Deadgamer's video response to Vince Venturella's topic of the week. Your favorite model kit. I think this past year's release of the Warhammer 40k Deathwatch Overkill Gene Stealers versus Space Marine kit has been my favorite, in all honesty. I started playing the Citadel miniatures back in the HeroQuest days, and that sort of led into the Space Hulk thing, and I instantly fell in love with the Gene Stealers and the Gene Stealer cult. At that time, White Dwarf was publishing a lot of things about Gene Stealer cults and Brood Brothers and a bunch of miscellaneous things that pertain to an army that they no longer supported for God knows how many years. And this past year, they decided to kind of stir them back up and acknowledge them, because for the longest time I was out of Warhammer 40k. I still continued to game, I just drifted away from 40k, and I kept tabs on the whole Tyranid thing, and they never seemed to mention Gene Stealer cults or any of that. That whole lore just kind of fell to the wayside. Until this year, they started mentioning them again, which is fantastic. Still not a big fan of the mechanics of the game, of the current edition. Hoping that maybe the whole Age of Sigmar thing and the buzz around that hopefully changes the mentality and the direction that 40k is going, so the next edition will be a little bit more interesting to me anyway. Super selfishness right there. It's my cat. She's awesome. Here she is. It's Gray Baby. Gray Baby. Yeah. So, creepy cat, dude. Oh, here she goes. This is gonna get real. Sorry. Anyhow, and I'm also drinking wine, which helps, because Vince, this is not an easy task to ask people to do, to sit there on the internet and broadcast. Sure, I'm gonna get like 40 or 50 views at most, but I still need a little bit of persuasion. So anyway, Gene Stealer cult models. What it is about them that I'm super appreciative. I guess it is the models that, I mean, the models are incredible. They did a phenomenal job. They also paid homage to a lot of older models that they had done in the range, the Bob Ollie models. There were a few that definitely were not identical. I don't know what the terminology I'm looking for is, but they're on par with the legacy models of ye old days when I was a young lad. But no, I mean, just putting them together, I appreciate the fact that they kept a lot of the aesthetic to them. They very much look the same in terms of the way they look. They justified a lot of things in terms of their little mining equipment, the little lights that they have, the weird carapace armor that they have. But all in all, I mean, the models are incredible. They're if you look at how, I guess, where Warhammer 40k was back in the day, and I mean, like I said, I don't know anything about 40k nowadays. I haven't played the game in probably 7-8 years, but I still continue to buy stuff because I'm a hopeful romantic, I guess, that the game is eventually going to come full circle, because most things do, right? But right now they're all nutted up about the apocalypse and the whole like mass battles, buy tons of miniatures, buy flying things and tanks and things like that, but nothing that I'm interested in. I mean, second edition, when I played the most of, there were Space Wolves were broken, Eldar were broken, the Tyranids got the shaft. We I guess upgraded, because we no longer just had the Hive Tyrant and Tyranid Warriors and a Screamer Killer and some Hunter Slayers, which now are called Termagants, whatever, and Carnifexes. But they sort of dropped the whole Genestealer cult concept after second edition. The third edition codex for Tyranids, when they revamped them and they looked very like Geiger alien-esque, they completely, they didn't even mention them for the longest of times. And I continued, not obviously, but yeah, whatever. I continued to keep tabs on them just because I was curious as if they, that was an army that I definitely was interested in playing, and I loved it. I loved the aesthetic of it. I loved the idea of it. These alien things that would infect this community or planet or whatever it was and slowly infiltrate and take over. But they drifted away from that for the longest time, and now that they're doing the whole Death Watch thing, and I think it's kind of awesome that Games Workshop is starting to acknowledge, or at least revisit, I guess that's more of what I'm trying to say, is that they're revisiting a lot of their past, and doing the whole fucking Grey Baby. I did not mean to say that. I didn't say that right now. Don't do whatever it is that'll apparently take this video away from the internet. Yeah, it's fantastic to see them revisiting the Genestealer cults and the whole culture and everything about them. But the model kits themselves, God, I've been rambling on for a little too long, I'm sure. But the models are phenomenal. If you're into the science fiction sort of mutated human, bulbous, heady, bald, creepy dude thing, not that I'm really into that in terms of like no, I am. I guess I am. I'm totally into that. I'm lying to you right now because I totally am into that. Purple-headed, bald dudes, I guess, is a thing for me. So, with claws. It's gotta have the claws. Or at least the one additional arm. So, 3 arms. But, yeah, the Genestealer cults, the Deathwatch Overkill set, I've purchased way too many of those. I don't know. I have this weird feeling in my gut that Games Workshop was recognizing it just to sort of launch Deathwatch and the whole rekindling of the what are those guys called? The Space Marines that are elite and they go off and they do special things for the Inquisition. I guess they're Deathwatch, right? That's the name. So, yeah, the whole, I don't know. I hope they're not just using, because I know that they've got the new Deathwatch game coming out, or just came out, with the Harlequins and the new Deathwatch guys. I hope that they weren't just using the Genestealer cult as a boost to get this, I don't know, the mob mentality behind the whole thing, and they're going to drop that game, and once they drop that game, those miniatures no longer become available. I mean, in all honesty, I don't care. God, I'm making this video way too long. Sorry. But, you know, in all honesty, I don't care that if they support the range anymore. I just really hope that they acknowledge the fact that Gene Stealer cults were a thing, and they're kind of the reason why the whole Tyranid wave goes into solar sectors, whatever it's called. I don't know. I'm not a brainy person, but I should be, because I live so close to like brainy people, but I'm not. Yeah, I'll have to go into that in another video. But yeah, I hope that Gene Stealer cults are now something that people recognize once again. And because I mean, for the longest time, there were times I'd go into game stores and people would just be like, "What's the Gene Stealer cult?" And, "Oh, that was part of that weird game." And it was like, no, it's not part of the weird game. It's the reason your Hive fleet got to that planet, because there was a Gene Stealer cult there in the first place that sent out the psychic beacon that brought in the Tyranids. But it's nice. I'm very happy that that's happening. And going back to the whole model thing, because you were talking about models in the first place, and I guess I'm talking more about fluff. I guess maybe... No, it's not just the... Well, maybe it is. I don't know. Cat. Sorry. She's amazing, but she gets in the way. I guess I have emotional investment in the whole, like, fluff of the whole thing. And I hate saying fluff because, I don't know, that's just a term I don't usually use. But, yeah, I mean, I think that the fact that they acknowledged something that was very near and dear to my heart growing up. I mean, I think I bought Space Hulk, or my dad did, for my birthday in like 91, 92. And it just really, after Hero Quest and Battle Masters, Space Hulk was the next step, and that had the little flyer in there that pushed me into 40K at the time. And I did Snakebite Orcs for a little bit, but I was always about the Gene Stealer cult. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the models are phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. They did a phenomenal job just modernizing, and not like modernizing like that one guy who made the recent Transformer movies, modernized Transformers, which I'm still very, very, very not happy about. Or the hold on, I need a drink of wine, because modernization of G.I. Joe, which also was a huge fail in my eyes, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Gene Stealers, and more importantly, Gene Stealer cults. And yes, I think that the Games Workshop's modernization of the Gene Stealer cult from the ye old 1990, I think it came out in 89 or 90 when they started the sculpts, to the Bob Oley ones, to 2016. I mean, they are a very much... They're very much a... yeah. They hit the nail on the head. They really do. They just... So, that would probably be my favorite kit, just because of the nostalgia and the importance it has to me in terms of recognizing something that they had lost for a long time. I guess it would be the same for fantasy players. I guess I should say this real quick, that the whole Age of Sigmar thing, or fantasy, Warhammer Fantasy, was never something I was interested in. I played more time because it was a skirmish game. I played Advanced Hero Quest because it was an awesome fantasy adventure game. I never got into Warhammer Fantasy because I didn't subscribe to the whole moving blocks and all that. Just was not in my wheelhouse of interest. But Age of Sigmar ignited all kinds of crazy, and it's cost me a lot of money, and that's unfortunate for me, I guess. But I'm surviving. I'm still drinking wine, so that's the most important thing. And my cat is getting her cat food. Oh! But yeah. So new to fantasy. I don't even know where I was going with this. The whole cat thing just threw me off, so sorry. I should look at the camera, not the picture, but oh well. So in closing, I guess I should say that yeah, I think that the my most favorite model kit, at least for Games Workshop, has definitely been the Genestealer Cult from the Deathwatch Overkill boxed set. I still continue to buy them. If you put them on eBay for $60 free shipping, or $70 with a or best offer, I will offer you $60 because I've been buying them up for no reason, because I've got tons of them and I don't need any more, but I will buy more because that many models for $60 is, yeah, something. I don't know. But anyway, I should probably hit this button to turn this whole video off because this is almost 18 minutes and I'm so sorry. So, you know, do your thing. Hate it, because I probably will after I watch this. But Vince, thank you again for doing these topic of the weeks. And I'm going to try to make a commitment to you to at least post these monthly. Not every week, because I just don't have that kind of time, but I will do my best. Thank you, sir. Take care.